Hello everybody, it's me, Pierre here. Today we're going to be making a awesome comparison video. I do want to let you guys, first see these two videos right here before we get into this video, just so you guys have some context on what I'm about to talk about between the two VR headsets that we're about to talk about. Today we're talking about the G2 versus the Vive Pro, which I never thought I would say on my channel because I never thought I would own a Vive Pro or any base station VR headset for that matter. I always had my G2 go against my Quest 2 or the Quest 2 versus the Nintendo Switch VR and stuff like that on the channel. But I never had a comparison against base station versus inside-out tracked headsets. So we're going to start with the controllers because the controllers are the two biggest difference between these two headsets. Now, the G2 controller definitely looks like it's bigger at first. It's not. It's fucking... They're both beefy boys, but this takes the cake, alright? This is a heavy fucking controller. Much more heavier than this controller ever will be. Like, this controller is light compared. Actually, do I have the batteries in this? No. This is also light tracked, by the way. This is not infrared. They use LEDs for the cameras to pick up. For me personally, I didn't really notice too much of a difference between the Quest 2 and the G2 with the LEDs and stuff. At least I never had that much of a tracking problem with the G2. I guess I just got lucky because I noticed some people just didn't have a good time with tracking with the G2. But anyway, besides the point, let's talk about the controllers. In weight, the G2 controller is much better. It's much lighter, and it has a much better button layout for every other game besides VR chat. I find these are better for VR chat, but every other game, I actually preferred the G2 controllers over the Vive ones. These are great for VR chat, don't get me wrong, but they're not as good as the G2 controllers in every other game. Especially Pavlov. These were much better in Pavlov than these by a landslide. Because the G2 fixed what the G1 had problems with, which was occlusion. And occlusion's very good with the G2 now. You can see that in this video here, like I mentioned. Go check out those videos first if you haven't. Again, the Vive Pro isn't a bad headset, but it is making me miss my G2 more than anything right now. Okay, now that we got the controllers out of the way, I'm gonna say this right now. The G2 controller wins. Please don't get mad at me in the comments. I'm not being a fanboy of the G2. It's just it has the button layout as the Index and the Quest 2 controller, and I find that better. The button layout is much better. The joystick is better. Just think, and also this here, this grip is much better than this grip on the Vive ones. Though they're not terrible, you can click it, it's just fine, but the G2 definitely wins here for controllers. I know, the G2 controllers are not the best, and if I were going up against the Quest 2 or the Index, obviously those controllers would win. But for once, the G2 controllers for me win against the Vive ones. I'll be honest with you. They do. They definitely do, especially for many games. These are good for Beat Saber, by the way, too. I didn't mind either one of these for Beat Saber. Both of them are just as good for Beat Saber. It doesn't bother me. Anyway, since we got the controllers out of the way, let's move them out of the way. Let's, talk about these two boys right here. By the way, on camera, the G2 might look smaller, which it technically is, but it's not smaller in the front, actually. The Vive Pro, if you look really careful, if I try and line it up where the face cushions are, it's actually, this is more bulkier in the front than the Vive Pro is, but the Vive Pro is much more bulkier in the back than the G2 is. Now, let's start with both of these headsets, alright? Let's talk about both of them, obviously. I just popped off the face pad off my G2. Whoopsies, 1 second. Let me put that back on. Alrighty. Now that the face pad's back on, let's talk about FOV right away, off the bat. This has a better FOV. Slightly better. It's not by a huge margin, but it definitely does have that slight advantage in FOV. Is it that big of a difference that I would never be able to go back to this because of its FOV is small? No. It's really not that big of a difference. It's like by 1 to 2 degrees more of FOV you're getting with this headset over the G2. Which is nice, it is noticeable, but it's not big enough for me to make the leap and be satisfied with the FOV on this. It's still relatively similar to the point where if I did go back to the G2, I probably wouldn't really notice the difference between the FOV. Maybe in the, is it vertical or horizontal? I'm not sure, but the up and down FOV, I would notice that because this has less up and down FOV, but from side to side, they both have very similar. It's almost the same, so I don't know what to say there. So this has definitely the bigger FOV, but again, the G2 is a bad, but still a point for the Vive there. Now, this one's going to be complicated. Comfort. Both of them are so comfortable. No matter how tight I put this on my face doesn't hurt, and it's comfortable. It is heavier than the G2 by a decent amount. Like, I can definitely feel the heft, but it's balanced. It's perfectly balanced, so it's fine. So the weight is fine on this headset. The G2 is so fucking light, I never really feel it on my face. There's definitely heft to it, but it's lighter. It's noticeably lighter than the Vive Pro. So comfort here, both of them are very comfortable, but since this is lighter and I don't really feel it on my face, as for this one I do feel it on my face a little bit, but it's still comfortable. I'm gonna have to give it the point to the G2. It just wins. It just slightly wins. Oh man, I'm actually really missing this thing. I want to put it on right now. Anyway, IPD adjustment. The G2 wins, hands down, for IPD adjustment. That slider here is so much better than the dial that the Vive has. Because the thing that I don't like about the Vive's IPD adjustment is that the wheel doesn't work 90% of the fucking time, and it drives me mentally insane whenever my IPD gets loose. But I got it just right now, so I don't have to change it again. But for quality of life, the G2 definitely wins for its IPD adjustment. Lenses. Let's talk about lenses. Which one wins in lenses? The G2, hands down. No ifs, ands, or buts. There's no competition there. The G2 is so much better in its clarity for its lenses. It's fucking insane. Like, the difference is night and day. This has so much God rays and glare compared to the G2. Yes, the G2 technically does have a little bit of God rays, but it's not as noticeable as this. You notice it with this. When you get God rays, you'll notice it with the Vive headset. Now, let's talk about resolution. Which one is better for resolution? Again, the G2 wins hands down. The resolution is so fucking good. It blows my mind. It's still the king of clarity for consumer VR, in my opinion. It is so clear. There's a lot of things that feel photorealistic. Like, it looks like you could reach your hand out and, like, open up a car door, because it looks like it's right there. Like, you could just grab it with your bare hand. It's insane. It looks really good. Like, graphics look very good on the G2. Yeah, it just looks really good. But there is something that the screen does win on the Vive, and that is OLED. Let's talk about colors and contrast and how nice that is. The Vive Pro wins fucking hands down because it's OLED. The OLED on this thing is fucking insane. It definitely gives you a difference in VR. It gives you a whole new perspective. And that was a good trade-off for me, actually. I did not mind the trade-off for OLED versus nice clarity being higher resolution. You either get higher resolution with this, or you get OLED. And the difference between the two, it's a good trade-off. It is a great trade-off. I actually did not mind it. So, the Vive Pro definitely wins here for color, contrast kind of stuff for games. Especially black colors. Like, when you go into Five Nights at Freddy's, for an example, and you want to look down that hallway, it's just pitch black. Like, you can't see shit. It's scary. It's good. It's really good for the horror games. It's really good. Let's talk about microphone and headphones. So, audio. Let's talk about the audio. And the G2, again, obliterates this headset in both the headphones and the microphone, because it has those crispy index headphones, you know, the ones that everybody likes, that should be the fucking industry standard. And I agree, it should be the standard for VR. Same with the microphone. The microphone is on par with the index microphone, in my personal opinion. Like, it's such a sharp, good, clear microphone that when my friend bought one of these and I heard him for the first time, he sounded completely different and so fucking clear, it blew my mind from his desktop mic. Like, it blew my mind. It's such a good microphone. This is not a good mic. I had to mod mic it. If you noticed it right here, I have a mic right there, and it leads into a Type-C connection for a dual barrel jack. The reason why I had to be a dual barrel and not a single barrel is because it thought it was headphones. So I had to get a dual barrel to make it think it's microphone. So that's what I did. I upgraded the microphone, but it's still nowhere near this. The microphone is not as good. If you want to know how good the microphone is, the mod microphone that I did, the modded one, go check out my recent job simulator video, and you'll see the mic on this to, you know, to see what you guys think. Let's talk about adjustability. This fucking slays the G2 adjustability. The adjustments you can make to this headset is just insane. It has a perfect pad that slides up and down, kind of like to your head shape here, like it moves. And the button right here, it's like the index. You can pop the headset up and down. Here, let me show you. So you grab this button and you slide it up, or you slide it down for eye relief, or for your glasses. I don't like it because it kills the FOV. It makes it so small, smaller than the Quest 2. It gets small. It gets cramped. It feels very claustrophobic. But great adjustability there for people that want to wear their glasses in VR or getting lenses for their VR headset. You can adjust it there, basically sliding it up and down. So adjustability wins here. Now, head strap. I actually prefer this head strap. The G2 wins here again. The index head strap that it has, and yes, it is technically the index head strap. It's just, it's a Velcro version of the index head strap. It's relatively the same as the indexes, and it is really nice. It's comfortable, and like, it's a good head strap. That's it. And also upgradability. So like the parts you can take off this headset, they're both pretty fucking equal. I'll give them both a point for that. They're so tied for that because you can take off the face pad for this, stuff like that. It's good stuff right there. Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. You can take off the face pad. This one you can also take off the face pad, but it's not as good as the G2s. But you could also upgrade by putting on like a mic or anything through the Type-C port. So if you want the hand tracking or the eye tracking, you can do that with this. You can add a module that will plug into the Type-C port right there, or the face tracking that this can come with. So yeah. That's about all I have for these two headsets. Oh, let's talk about tracking, actually. Don't forget about tracking. We cannot forget about tracking. This destroys the G2. That's fucking obvious. Like, base station tracking is obviously the better version of tracking. Like, you're always going to get good tracking with base stations. Now, they are prone to occlusion, but as long as you have two base stations that are put in a perfect spot like I do, you don't really run into the occlusion problem. Unless if you have full body tracking and you're trying to relax your legs and then you cover one and then none of the base stations can see that at that point, and then it gets all wonky. But yeah, you know what? Let's add in another category. Let's talk about looks. Which one looks better? The G2. The G2 looks so much better than the Vive. I love it. I love the look of this headset so much more. It is such a better headset to wear on your face, because it looks better to me. Like, that design is so much better than the Vive Pro, in my opinion. The Vive Pro has a very okay design. It's okay. Like, I like the design of the Vive Pro, don't get me wrong, but it's not as good as the G2s. But yeah, I can't even use the G2 anymore, so I would be making a better comparison right now by using both headsets right now in a video. Unfortunately, I cannot, because the G2, it does work still, I just don't want to hook it up anymore because my days are numbered anyway, so I just stopped using it because I got too sad to use it. But I will be using it again in the future when there's a software that I can use it again. This headset will be back. This microphone, this audio solution, great clarity will be back on the channel. It just depends on the time, whenever that will be. I don't know when, but hopefully soon I can use this headset again. But anyway, that was the comparison between the two. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Both headsets are great options, actually, still today. The G2, if you don't mind that the G2, if you're on Windows 10, you have nothing to worry about because you have till 2026. As for Windows 11 users, you don't have time. You will be losing it soon, like anytime this year. So buy whichever one. Both of them are really good. If you want the best tracking, go for the Vive Pro. It has the base station tracking, though the controller that it has isn't the best. It's big, it's bulky. It can actually fit all hands, and I'm a small guy. I am like 5'1.5", so and my hands are tiny, and yet my hand can wrap all the way around the controller still. So you're fine with small hands or big hands or medium hands. This will fit all hands, so that's fine. But they're big, bulky, and you will smack yourself in the dick a couple times when you're playing Beat Saber if you're going too fast with this. That's the unfortunate thing about this controller. But that also goes for the same for the G2 controller. Even though it's smaller, this gigantic fucking ring will also smack you in the dick. So I mean, pick your poison. Would you like a brick to hit you in the dick or a flimsy ring to hit you in the dick? Honestly, I'm picking this because it hurts less. Trust me, I know it hurts less. Just trust me on that. If you're a girl out there though and you don't have a dick, you should be okay. It'll just hit you down there and should be fine. It shouldn't hurt as bad. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's true, but like, but what I'm saying here is that both headsets are good options. If you want clarity and you don't care for the tracking, go for the G2. You want FOV and the better tracking, go for the Vive Pro. You want the clarity and I guess clarity and comfort, then go for the G2. Again, both are really good options. I don't have anything against either of them. I like using both of them. The Vive Pro is my second favorite headset, and the G2 is my first favorite headset. So both of them are my favorites. It's just, if I were to pick one and pick one up right now, if I get to use them for however long I want, because unfortunately I don't have a choice in that matter right now until someone fixes the G2. If I were to pick out of the two, I would keep my G2. If it were to mean I would have to lose one, I would definitely stick with my G2. Anyway, you will be seeing the G2 on the channel again with probably index controllers with a Vive tracker on the headset, because I'm going to try and turn it into a base station VR headset and use it again through a software that is not Windows Mixed Reality, and I can use it again basically use the headset again for VR and stuff. Anyway, pick your guys' poison. Which headset do you guys think is better? Tell me in the comments below. If you guys disagree with my decisions I made. I feel like a lot of people are going to disagree with me on the G2 controllers. That's obvious. Like, not many people like them, and I don't blame you. I actually do know the problems with them. I get it. But they are using a very old technology for tracking, to be fair. It is LED tracked, so they're not the best controller. My Quest 2 is up there. Maybe I'll have the Quest 2 compare against these headsets as well. Anyway, I'm very happy with both. Pick your poison. Do you want the better FOV OLED with the better tracking? Then go for the Vive. You want the best visuals in VR can get you right now for consumer VR, but have the consequence of losing it sometime. If you're not a tech head and you don't know how to download softwares to make it work again, I wouldn't go for it. But if you are a tech head and you don't mind going for like a third-party software to get this to work again, then go for it. Like, the G2 has a consequence of owning it nowadays. because like I said, it's fading out and it's sad. It's sad to see it go. It was a great fucking headset and it did not deserve what it got. Fuck you, Microsoft. But hopefully sooner or later it will be back again. That's all I can say about the two headsets. I like them both, but I will say I miss the G2 and I want to go back to it. And I will. You will see me go back to it. Not that I hate the Vive. The Vive is fine. Just the G2 is a better overall headset. And I'm a clarity kind of guy. I mean, I will miss the OLED though. The OLED was fucking fantastic on this headset. Again, I'm rambling, so I'll let you guys go. Thank you guys for watching. This was Pira. Stay cool. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you don't miss any more of my content. Also, dislike this video if you disliked, like this video if you liked. And tell me in the comments below which out of the two headsets that I have here on my desk are your favorites, and if you own one of the headsets or own both, tell me in the comments below. Also, again, tell me which one do you guys actually prefer out of the two headsets, and let me know why. Yeah, and I'll talk to you guys later. Stay cool. Bye bye.